It's Mike versus Mike in 2 weeks in Santa Clara. And away we go. It is time to get up.
Let's go.
Presented by Freestyle Libre. We hope wherever you are safe and warm and dry. We're digging out from a bunch of snow here.
A little bit of snow.
And boy, did we have some football yesterday. Let's start with a classic. Late last night in Seattle, it was Matthew Stafford and the Rams. It was Sam Darnold and the Seahawks in the NFC Championship, and it lived up. Rams up 3, under a minute and a half. Jackson Smith in Jigba.
What a huge moment. Jackson Smith in Jigba out the slot. He runs a corner back to the post. It's the same route that Carolina hit the Rams on. And then a couple plays later, out of the backfield, Cooper Kupp draws the attention. Coverage low. Why would the Rams be paying attention to number 11, the best player on Seattle's offense?
Couldn't have been more open. Critical late drive in that first half to give Seattle a halftime lead. Now, third quarter, special teams, D. Wood, have killed the Rams all year long.
Yeah, it's been their personal bugaboo. And then, again, right here in a critical situation, you just fumble the punt return right here. Just a horrible situation for the Rams.
Inexcusable from Xavier Smith. Critical special teams mistakes turned their game in the regular season, and then it turns this one. This is the very next play.
Yeah, attention to JSN, but how about Sam Darnold hanging in the pocket and floating that ball over the middle field to Bobo? Just a huge swing of momentum for Seattle.
So Seattle up a
hot. This is an unbelievable throw to Parkinson. Back across the field into play action game, crosser over. Couple plays later, Devontae one-on-one. He gets a little bit of separation. The ball's thrown absolutely perfect down the sideline.
Stafford fired up, and then Rex, down they are, down near the goal line, and Devontae Adams has been so good in this territory all year long.
Yeah, absolutely. Kills people down here inside 2 yards. There it is again. I had him on my fantasy
Perfect
squad.
throw. Stafford, 3 passing touchdowns. It's a 4-point game. Back and forth we go. Darnold on a critical 3rd and 3 from the 13. Cooper Kupp.
Get through your progressions. Cooper Kupp, number 3 there, sits in the zone. Ball's right there. He does a great job. Catch, get vertical.
So Seattle once again takes the lead. Now 3rd and 12 for the Rams, and the Seahawks are going to stop him and get off the field late in the third quarter, but wait. After Reek Woolen breaks up the pass, Rex, what do we have here?
This is about as selfish and dumb a thing as you could possibly do. They got the game won. Hey, there you go. And here it comes. It only gets better right here.
Reek Woolen with a critical taunting penalty, and so on the very next play, Dan, they go right back at him.
As they should. Great route by Puka. Kind of lulls him to sleep. Double moves. Stafford throws it to the front pylon. Rams right back in it.
So Woolen had a chance to be the GOAT of this one.
I don't think he's talking after this one. I'm not so sure.
Rams pull within 31-27. Now we're in the fourth quarter. That's still the score. Rams going for it on a 4th and 1 from the 26. Matthew Stafford, this was a critical play.
When it happens, I thought if they win, this would be the highlight of a career. DeMarcus Lawrence is all over him. He's not an athlete. They go for it. He gets through that tackle. Now they have the opportunity to go win the game.
But on a 4th and 4 from the 6, they don't kick the field goal. They go for it. What do we think of the play?
It's a great play by Spoon. I mean, that's the story. They peel 2 on the back. I think that's a little bit of a mistake by the Seattle defense. There's beautiful pocket, but the coverage by Seattle is just flawless.
All right, so now the Rams desperately need to stop Seahawks with a 3rd and 8. This is Darnold to Kupp. He's stretching for the first down. The ball is going to come out, but Sean McVay can't challenge it.
And this will be remembered always that he couldn't challenge. People wondering why he couldn't. It turned out to be one of the turning points here in the game at the end.
He had already called a timeout, couldn't challenge the play, so Seattle maintains possession. 3rd and 7. We're inside a minute and change to go. Darnold sacked by Braden Fisk, so the Rams are going to get one final chance. 10 seconds left, down by 4. Stafford, they need a play, and they need to get out of bounds. They get the play, but Puka comes up just short of the sideline. The knee touches down. The clock will strike 0. and the Seahawks will win 31-27. They advance to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2014, winning an absolute classic. And what a night it was for Sam Darnold.
Tell him, Greedy.
Exercising all of the ghosts and any of the questions. 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. First player in Seattle postseason history to throw for 303 touchdowns without an interception in the game. And after it was over, his head coach, Mike McDonald, had nothing but praise.
You know, you can't can't talk about the game without talking about our quarterback. I mean, he just shut a lot of people up tonight, so I'm really happy for him. Should go down as one of the best performances in playoff history, I'd imagine. I mean, it's hard to stack it, but I can't imagine anybody playing any better.
All right, we got lots of time to dive into this, and it always starts with D. Wood and some sort of overarching pronouncement. What was your number one take on the game?
We watched a QB masterclass yesterday between both Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold. And speaking on the Rams, the two areas that's been a bugaboo all year long, special teams and their defense, particularly secondary, reared its ugly head yesterday.
Yep.
I mean, you talked about the game that Matt Stafford had yesterday against this vaunted Seattle Seahawks defense. He was flawless, only to be outdone by those two areas in the game. What a shame. But yesterday was about Sam Darnold.
You made a point, just quickly, we're going to get to Darnold here in a second. In the two games they lost a game on a Thursday night in which they had total control, and the special teams winds up killing them. And they lose that, and that's the reason yesterday's game is in Seattle. Yeah. And then they lose yesterday. What were Stafford's numbers in those two losses at Seattle?
Yeah, 51 of 84 for 831 yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, 1 sack, a QBR of 86, and he went 0-2.
And they lost both of those games. Unbelievable.
It's hard to do.
But the reason is Darnold. Let's start with him. He deserves the credit. Look, this is a guy, his story has been well told. That's why I said it's one of the great redemption stories in the history of sports. Left for dead after the Jets gave up on him, and then Carolina, goes to San Francisco, rehabilitates himself, goes to Minnesota. They decide they can do better, and here he is leading Seattle to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, who can do better? Over the last two seasons, 30-7. 30-7. Oh, by the way, that includes the playoffs. All right, so to me, that's only been done at an 80% clip in a 2-season span twice in the NFL. All right, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. That's how good this kid's playing. And to me, he was on the bricks. Somebody never thought he was good enough to be their quarterback, Minnesota. And now it's the greatest pickup ever. John Schneider gets the executive of the year for good reasons, because of this kid. And the only reason they're going to the Super Bowl is because of him.
And you think about the Geno Smith thing. They wanted to bring back Geno Smith. Geno Smith wanted
Why?
So they wanted to bring him back.
Sorry.
He wanted to move on. So they gave him his wish. They sent him to the Raiders, and instead they got back a third-round draft pick, and they signed Sam Darnold. Sometimes these seasons and storylines just seem to come together. So yesterday, Sam Darnold exercises those demons against the Rams, who he struggled to beat, who intercepted any number of his passes the last couple of years. Now he gets to go up against the Patriots team, where he first saw ghosts, where everybody remembers he saw the ghosts in New York that came to plague his career. And he does it in a city in San Francisco where he began to turn around his career working under Kyle Shanahan and in the 49ers system. It all comes together for Sam Darnold in this one last game of the season, coming off one of the great games in championship history.
Darnold played and won in the way that all the loudmouths said he couldn't. All the people that were the haters of Sam Darnold that said, well, he'll panic, he's not poised, he makes too many mistakes, he's going to throw a ton of interceptions. He played in the way where he was poised. He didn't throw the ball away. He made great decisions in the right moments, and he was as clutch as he's ever been. How great was he on third down yesterday? I mean, he was remarkable. So all the times that everyone said, Sam Darnold isn't all that, you were wrong. It was the redemption story of Sam Darnold. And McDonald's right. Shut a lot of people up by the way that he played. The second part is this. Go back a couple years when Schneider drafts Jackson Smith and Jigba in the first round, when they had the DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and everyone was like, he was sensational last night. And I loved all the different ways that they moved him. This is the throw right before the half. They motion him over. When that motion happens, you get the corner off of him. Now the nickel has to cover him. The nickel doesn't touch him on the release. JSN, look at him sell the out route or the corner route and then cross face of the safety. This is the huge completion. You keep the safety at the bottom of the screen down. That gets us immediately into field goal range. Now you go to the touchdown. They motion him over. He's lined up at running back. Why is he lined up at running back? Usually, he's lined up at running back and he just runs a little bit of a 5-yard route. This time, you lift coverage with Shaheed. Cooper Kupp runs a little bit of an out and return. That pulls the corner down. And then all of a sudden, here comes JSN to the corner route. But it's all about how they use them and the different ways they align them. You go to later in the game. I'm shocked Seattle threw in this moment. Shocked. This is 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. There goes motion again. The corner goes out. Once again, you get the nickel on him. Watch him sell this route. Look at sell to the bottom of the screen, sell it. Oh my gosh, what a route. And now go to the out route, wide open. The way that they used JSN to get matchups for him, to put him in different places, and then him taking advantage of it, as much as the game is about Sam, it's also about JSN.
Absolutely. He was the best player. Well, I guess Darnold is the best player on the field yesterday.
Both of them.
You could see from the minute the game started, JSN was ready for that game, and he was spectacular. And so now the Seattle Seahawks, who were a team that I think, even as the season went on, people had a hard time believing in completely, maybe because of their quarterback, maybe because they just don't get the same level of exposure. I can't count the number of times I had people at this desk this season say to me, well, the Rams are the best team. The Rams are the best team. Last night, they took every punch that the Rams had, and they beat them, and they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was one of those guys earlier in the season. I thought the Rams were the best team. All right? But look, this thing came down to third down efficiency.
Yeah.
When you talk
Seattle
about
was
it down,
unbelievable on it.
oh my gosh, Sam Darnold on 3rd and 4th down, 6 of 9 passing.
Yeah.
102 yards, 97.4 QBR. By the way, the other quarterback's pretty good. 0 for 7 on the same situations.
And the reality.
But the reality is, the Rams, not so special teams, but how about that defense? Let's talk about how horse something their defense was the last 9 games of the season.
Or
How about
something.
this?
Yes.
And the Shula guy, I hope like heck, man, he should be a head coach somewhere, maybe
Chris
in
Shula,
junior
their
high.
defensive
But anyway, I
coordinator.
want to say this: 40% of the drives in the last 9 games ended in points for the opposition. That's who let this team down. It was the defense. And I saw Puka Nacua talking about how he let the defense down. Are you kidding me? No, you didn't. This defense absolutely was atrocious the last 2 weeks or 2 months of the season.
Correct.
Yep.
That's what let this team down.
Yeah, the way that the defense, if you watch that game, the way that the defense consistently could not get aligned was concerning to me because it's the 3rd time you're playing that opponent. I go to the JSN touchdown right before the half. It's a nice design. It's the same play that they hurt the Rams on in Week 16, except Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp switched places. It's just a lack of plan. It's also a lack of somebody on that defense making a play.
And through the defense and the special teams, let them down, and the Seahawks take advantage. So the questions begin, was last night the last time we ever see Matthew Stafford